Israel re-established the Hebrew language after the establishment of Israel? Why didn't we, India, re-establish Sanskrit as our official language instead of English after our independence? As it would have helped us solve our language problems and helped us understand our ancient religious, philosophical, spiritual, civilizational texts and connect with our own culture even more. Do you think there is any way to correct this mistake even now? And Gayatri Ingale says, you earlier said that Sanskrit should be made the official language of India and English should be eliminated completely. You've given the example of China and France that don't use English and they're still doing well. But French and Chinese are the official language at many international institutions, but India doesn't have that facility. So, in that way, in what way making Sanskrit the national language will affect India's performance at the global stage? You see, French was not always an official language in various international institutions. Chinese was not always an official language in many international institutions. This happened because the stature and relevance of these nations grew. India, until the last 5-10 years, has been an irrelevant nation. So that's why nobody uses any Indian language anywhere. Nobody wants to learn Hindi or any Indian language. When your nation starts becoming genuinely internationally relevant, everybody will start paying attention to you and giving importance to your culture and your language. So that's how French became established as the official language in many international institutions. That's how the same thing happened to Chinese, Arabic, and so on. And how did English become the international language? In 1800, French was more of an international language than English. How did it happen? Through imperialism and through the British Empire. So, to make your language accepted globally, you have to spread your roots. You have to spread your power projection abilities, and you have to you have to increase your relevance. You have to become a genuinely relevant nation. Then this happens. But you have to first have some self confidence that we will use our own language as the official language. That's what you need to do. You have to start that way, backwards. You don't say we will first become relevant, then we'll bring in Sanskrit. You start by becoming more confident in yourself, by having some self respect and having your own civilization language as the official national language. And then you grow. And everybody, if they want to interact with you, will have to learn your language. And because you're so powerful and now so well respected, everybody will make your language one of their official languages. That's how it works. Okay? So making Sanskrit the national language will make India more, will engender self-respect among Indians. It will also make people respect India more. Right now, we are speaking a foreign language. People laugh at us behind our backs. You may not realize it. Okay? So now that's the deal now about Hebrew and why didn't we re-establish Sanskrit? Because our leaders were all mentally colonized losers. Most of them. Not all, most of them. So-called leaders. So-called founding fathers. I mean, there was some debate of making Sanskrit the national language, but they chose no, Hindi hoga, Hindi, for some reason. And English is also still one of the official languages. And people like me can speak English better than any native language, which is sad, right? So yes, I think there's still a way to correct this mistake. You can correct the whole thing in 20 years. You know, introduce Sanskrit in the education system and make it the official language. You start with class 0, kindergarten. What is it called? Nursery. First year you introduce nursery, the official language. And Sanskrit is not like a foreign language that you do learn a foreign language first and all that. Sanskrit is part of our blood. Any Indian language has 50-60% Sanskrit vocabulary anyway. So introducing Sanskrit is not going to traumatize the kids at all. It's going to actually make them more intelligent and brighter and more connected to the roots. So introduce it 1 year at a time, first at the nursery level, then junior KG, senior KG, then first standard, second standard. And in 20 years, you've made the whole education system Sanskrit compliant, and that's how we do it. And it will take a leader of some fortitude to do this, because there's a lot of opposition to Sanskrit within India these days, especially when it comes to various NGOs and institutions that are connected to outside financial funds and the various conversion factories and missionary supported organizations and all that in India, and various third-rate regional political parties that want to create divisions in India for their own political benefits. I'm not naming anybody, but I'm just saying. So because of all these reasons, there's a lot of opposition to Sanskrit in India, in various parts of India, but it is our civilization language. It's been the only civilizational language of India at least 10,000 years, and we have to bring it back. I think it can be done if we have a leadership that has a bit of fortitude and maybe at the right time.